Some people genuinely have no inner monologue, which explains a great deal when you think about it, or, in their case, when you don't. You never hired it, you never agreed to it, and you cannot make it shut up. Scientists have a name for that little narrator: inner speech. Communication with yourself inside your own skull, where you are both the one talking and the only one listening. It comments on your day, it rehearses arguments you will lose anyway, and it has been chattering away uninvited since about the time you first learned to talk. You have never had a moment's peace, you just stopped noticing. Nearly everyone has this. It runs all day, and most of us never once stop to ask what it actually is. The proper name is intrapersonal communication. Fancy words for the simple fact that you spend your whole life sending messages to you. The sender and the receiver are the same person, which leaves one slightly daft question hanging in the air. If you're the one doing the talking, who exactly is listening? The narrator also has a job description. Nobody asked your permission. It doesn't matter. One researcher, Larry Ehrlich, says your inner speech is mainly doing two jobs. The first is keeping you safe, scanning for threats and planning what to do about them. In practice, that means lying awake at 2 a.m, rehearsing a furious reply to an email that has not yet arrived. The second job is bleaker. It's there to deal with being alone. The commentary in your skull is partly just so you're never quite by yourself. Cozy. And the narrator does not always like you. Psychologists split this self-talk into positive and negative. The positive you barely notice. The negative is the part of you that, at 3 p.m, with zero warning, replays that time you waved back at a stranger who turned out to be waving at the person behind you, in your own accent at full volume. For some, the running commentary barely stops, and that's tied to stress, anxiety, and depression. There's even a flavour called imposter syndrome, where it spends every waking hour insisting you're a fraud about to be exposed, while you're genuinely good at the thing. Your own head booing you. Sometimes it isn't one speaker, but several. That's inner dialogue. Different parts of you taking turns, arguing it out, like a tiny committee that never breaks for lunch. You want to leave work early. One part lists every disappointed look your boss might give you, and another part fires back. And it doesn't stop at the living. You can run a whole imaginary conversation with a celebrity or a relative who has died. We rehearse arguments we will never have with an audience that cannot hear them and somehow still lose. Normally, you know the commentary is yours. You said it, you own it. But the speech in your head is something your brain actively does, an action it performs. And sometimes the brain performs that action and loses track that it was the one performing it. The thought turns up, and the receipt for it is gone. You wrote the words yourself and didn't recognize your own handwriting. The narrator stops feeling like you. It feels as if somebody else got in, which means your own inner monologue can quietly gaslight you into believing a stranger has moved into your skull. You are, technically, prank calling yourself and falling for it every single time. Simon Jones and Charles Fernyhough, in a 2007 paper on inner speech and auditory hallucinations, explain certain cases exactly this way. Self-talk the speaker no longer recognizes, so the brain files it as coming from outside. Some have met it as a sneering critic, some as a total stranger, some as something close to the voice of God. Which brings us back to the only question that matters. Whose voice is it? The best answer we have comes from a psychologist named Lev Vygotsky. His idea is that you weren't born with the narrator, you installed it. When you were small, the adults around you talked at you constantly. Suggestions, warnings, commands. Wait, think, be careful. They said it out loud to steer how you behaved. And then, slowly, you took those words inside and began saying them to yourself. The inner narrator is the echo of every grown-up who ever told you what to do, internalized on a loop forever. So the speaker that's been quietly narrating your entire life, there's a very good chance it's your mum. So tonight, when the lights go off and the narration starts up, the replays, the lost arguments, the emails you'll never send, remember, it learned to talk by copying the people who raised you. It will keep you company. It will tell you off. It will do all of it in a borrowed voice every single day for the rest of your life. And then one day, it stops. The same voice that taught you to wait, finally taking its own advice. Turns out the silence you've been chasing comes free with the funeral.